Coming to you live from the top floor of the OBB Corporate Tower in downtown Coral Gables. You're listening to the top-rated American football podcast in countries that don't play American football. Ain't that some shit? These are the Orange Bowl Boys.
Brought to you by Ed Morse. Join the over 2 million people that are backed by Morse. Visit edmorse.com.
Here's Toast, Roman, and Scoop.
Welcome to the Mario era, chapter 77.
Mario, it's Mario. Happy Threads Day. Or Thursday. What the hell's going on? Hey. What's going on, boys?
Fucking threads nonsense.
Oh. Join the threads. Join the threads.
Fucking threads.
We'll be there for, 3 or 4 months. But join it anyway. I'm not paying attention to it. Who's going to run that for us?
Whoever runs our Twitter.
It's immediately what I thought, which has been disastrous in itself. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, boy. So how you doing today?
I'm doing great. We lost districts last night. It was a total kick in the balls. To the point that when I was done, I literally went home, said I don't want to go in the house, and I found a bar. And the funny thing was, this is a true story. I text the other coaches, and I'm like, I'm going to find a bar. And they're like, good for you. And I end up at the bar that they're at. We just toasted all night.
Oh, my.
And basically the toast was Boca. Right.
So you lost too?
Yeah, and wow. It's like it's one thing to lose, but it's like, dude, I swear to you, and I live this, right? And I put it on Twitter today, not Threads, Twitter, but I put it on. I played against Raphael Furcal, and I put a true story where the guy said he was 19, and I had a kid on my team. He's like, I'm legit 20. We're from the same town, but I've never seen him before. And my goodness, they have a kid that they say is 11 from Venezuela, and I swear to you, he's not 11. I would bet all the money in the bank that this kid's not 11, and he just mowed us down. And it's like, you never want to be sour grapes. Tip your cap. You're a phenomenal pitcher, all 15 years of you. But congratulations. Sour grapes.
Who was that? Who was the Little League pitcher? Was it Danny Almeida? Was it Danny Almeida?
Danny Almonte.
Almonte.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Kid ended up
17-year-old. Yeah, well, then the Chicago team with the girls, that team got busted too. And you know what the sad thing is by the time they bust these teams, they bust them like way later on in Williamsport. That's when they do it. But all the teams they take out along the way, so there's a good chance they took the books and they're going to look at certain things. There's some shenanigans that are on the records, but it's not going to affect us.
Boca would never pull that sort of stuff. Those money parents, please. They'd never try to buy nothing. Come on.
But this is a true story too. So earlier throughout this whole tournament, a kid hits a home run, the bat breaks. And we got Spanish guys on our team too, and they're yelling in Spanish, grab the bat, to which they gave it to one of the parents who rented it off to the parking lot. And I'm like, oh, that's not shady. It's like, dude, that's not shady. Not at all. It's like, let's just run the bat to the parking lot. Yeah, we got to go to Dick's. We got to get our refund back. Yeah, you're a bunch of dicks. Yeah, fuck Boca.
Oh, my God.
It's a weird phenomenon, right? I mean, that's... So Roe loses a Little League, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is it
Little League?
Is it Little League actually?
And it was Williamsport year. You remember we had a great run last year. We got we would have been one game away from Williamsport with the run we had last year. So this year, same team. We were trying to run it back, but wasn't in the cards.
But it's one of those things. It's like that's your kid, and you have this thing, and you don't feel as though you should be that invested, right? To where so now here's what I relate it to. I relate it to how Sundays used to feel when the Canes lost a football game back in the day, right? You had this Sunday and you had this mood that you couldn't shake. And Ro felt it last night. And the funny thing is, I had the same experience yesterday.
Do tell.
I kid you not. So Kenzie had a tournament. has been playing really, really well. She goes out and so this is in one of the tours that I can't caddy. So she's out on her own. I can't help her. I can't change anything. I can't say anything. I'm out there following her. She's aligned a little bit to the right all day off the tee, right? Smoking her drives, but just up the right side. Got herself in a little bit of trouble a couple times. And then every shot out there is a brand new experience for her, right? Because she doesn't have that catalog of all these shots yet. So she's got to play certain shots that she's not used to play. So she hits her drive well all day. Hits her irons better than I've ever seen her hit her irons. Like stupid good, right? 4 legit birdie putts inside 15 feet. Like just playing lights out. Worst score she's had in 3 months. It was one of those rounds, and I'm like, I have no idea what's happening. All I know is I'm watching her play really, really well. Putting wasn't great. And after it, I'm just distraught. Like I'm legitimately like depressed because I couldn't help her. I couldn't do anything or say anything to help her. And if I had been able to help her, the score would have been lower, obviously. But she's out there on her own and she's grinding through it and she's learning this stuff. And all of these are, okay, I've seen that. I won't do it again. Okay, I know how to play this. But I'm literally like, I apologized to her afterwards. And I said, like, I felt it's my fault. I'm not trying to like make you feel guilty, but like I literally couldn't say anything. And I knew you were lined up right. And I knew that those drives got you in trouble, even though they're in the right rough, right? Like, but to Rose's story, you just feel like shit. Like I just felt like dog shit all afternoon.
Scoop apologized. So this transpires, Toast. So this happens in the game. It's 2-2 in the 5th. And part of me, because like my son wanted the ball, but they're like, all right, you're going to go into relief to shut these boys down. Well, he didn't make it out of the inning, and then the game got to 5-2 because he walked a lot of batters. He's a little distraught. He comes in, I'm watching it, right? And then like Scoop, the kid can flat out rake. You know, he's a good hitter. He's like a little Mookie Betts clone, Toast. If you watch him, especially some of the way when he swings a bat at certain points, he looks just like Mookie Betts. Kid's a fun kid to watch hitting. I'm not a pitching guy. I never have been, right? So he comes on the bench. He's starting to tear up a little bit. I'm like, he knows what just happened. He's like, Dad, I just couldn't throw a strike. To which my reply was, well, no, son, everybody could see that. Just like that. Stone pose. I was like, but don't worry, dude. It's baseball. Let's just pick it up and let's go play defense. Father of the year. Father of the year. No, son.
Like
everybody saw it.
Yeah, right? I mean, I putted so bad today.
Yeah, you did.
I know.
I was there.
I know.
Everybody saw it.
I know. I was there. I couldn't say anything there. But I was there, and then she's got a little tear coming down her face, like as they're putting the scores up, and she realized that she didn't make the podium, you know. And I'm like, I gotta get out of here. Like we gotta go, and it's not even for you; it's for me. Like I gotta go. Okay, let's go do something else with our lives for the rest of the day. And it was, man. So yeah, so Ro and I, we experienced on the same day. It's like losing. It's like losing the 0-1 national championship every time something like that happens.
Yeah, that's tough.
Let me ask you a question. When did that feeling go away from you Sunday mornings about the Canes loss?
I'm glad you had this conversation. When did you stop
feeling that?
Because this is like a green tree kind of conversation. And I will tell you what. I don't know when it happened, but Miami fandom over the years happened, and that's when it happened because the losses just kept piling up. I remember like the Kellen Winslow years, and we lost to Tennessee at home, and that was still unfathomable. Like Alabama when they lose at home, that was us. Like all of a sudden we lost at home to Tennessee. It was a putrid game. I think we only scored like 9 points. He's like, I'm a soldier. Like that game, I'm like, I can't believe we lost at home to Tennessee of all people. Tennessee sucks. And then next, we missed that kick against UNC. And then and all these losses kept piling up. And then you fast forward, by the time you lose to FIU, and that's an abysmal loss. Then Middle Tennessee State. Now it's just like, yeah, they lost. They lost. I don't know, to answer your question. I don't know, but
how long ago did you not care? I didn't say not care. How long ago did you lose the feeling
maybe the Al Golden
that you
years?
feel when Franco or Kenzie doesn't have the best day
Al Golden
That's
years?
the feeling. 10 years.
Yeah,
I mean, it's 10 years.
Yeah, Al Golden years. I mean, Randy Shannon, it still stung. I'm like, I was still pissed. And, it soured. And when it could have been the USF game. Randy's last game, we lost the USF pork chop. I remember. 6-3? Yeah. 6-3? We lost the pork chop. We lost the pork chop there. Go Bulls. And I think at that moment too, I literally walked out of there going, man, we suck. Like, we suck.
Yeah, that was a game too. Yeah. And that was a game that got him fired. But
and then they got out
because you were so because we had the number one recruiting class in the country.
Yes,
we had
kids from Northwestern.
7 guys from Northwestern.
Yep.
So, and Ja'Cory, and we had all this, and then we go up in his first game and he beats FSU in Tallahassee up there. And so, like, we felt like we had it. We were back then. That's when I really felt like we were turning the corner and Randy was going to get it done.
Super excited Randy Shannon was coach.
The end of his reign, I agree with you entirely. Man, it could have been the USF. Like, that, going back and thinking about that really kind of ended that for me.
Yeah. And here's the thing too, because, sometimes people take some pop shots and they're not really fully educated. I remember vividly, before this was even like the Orange Bowl boys was a thing, how absolutely ecstatic we were that one of our own and an African-American coach from Miami was going to be the head coach of the University of Miami. I thought it was a fail-proof, foolproof plan. I was like, he's going to be able to recruit.
First class.
He's going to be able to relate to these kids in ways that I can't think of. This is going to be remarkable. I was just so happy. And like all these coaches, right? You gotta give them a fresh start. You go into it. But I remember having that conversation with Scoop. Vividly remember saying, "This is going to be great. This is awesome." and
I'm out.
And by South Florida. Oh my goodness, is Naboos, and then listening to them. And I think they only had like 45 fans in that fan section too, and they were losing their mind. They were losing their mind when they beat us that day. But yeah, maybe pinpoint it. USF stopped caring.
I am an awful sport when my teams lose, and there was a point where like a loss would stick with me, whether it be the Canes or the Red Sox. That loss would stick for. I mean, Red Sox not as much because I always had a game the next day, so you could turn the page quicker. But that morning at school, I'd just be a friggin' bear. And the Canes, well, see, that's like a 3 or 4 day thing. Like that would carry over till like Thursday. Mm-hmm. But I'll be honest, man.
Until you could look forward to the next Saturday.
Right, until you start, because Thursday was kind of the start of the next week with the Thursday
like,
game. All right, here we are. That was the pass. All right, we're focusing now. But yeah, it's got to be 10 years since I was like pissed for any amount of time after. I mean, I'll be pissed as I walk to the car. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like now instead of being pissed until Thursday, I'm pissed for the 15-minute walk from the concourse to my car. And then I'm like, fuck it, whatever. As I drive home, I put on some good jams, and I'm over.
Car to the concourse. Huh?
I think 10 years. I think that 10-year mark is when I started to get numb to the long-lasting effects. But I immediately think back to FSU last year, and even though you're numb and you're used to being on the ground, it still kind of stings a little bit when they're kicking you.
Well, you're like, and that's
exactly. That was like, ooh,
that's it.
Wow.
That's like it's it, and it sucks. That sucks. It sucks that sucks.
Let me ask you this: since 2001, was last year the worst year of the 21 years?
Oh no.
Are you sure?
Golden's last year.
That 58-0 was brutal.
Yeah, Clemson.
That was brutal. That was, by the way, my kid's first ever game.
MTSU and FSU in the same season.
And FIU
like
was
we
terrible.
Quit.
FIU was terrible too. Yeah, I mean FSU last year.
Yeah,
but FSU. You want to know why FSU? And you got to go back and listen to the recap show of that one. Once Tyler got hurt, I automatically I just accepted defeat. with Josh Gaddis, I was like, "You think he's going to be able to take his band?" Yeah, I didn't really pile on Josh Gaddis that much because Tyler got hurt with a couple of the drives. Then I did the student of the game, and I realized he got hurt. Every one of the quarterbacks kept getting blitzed in the same way and getting pounded that game. Guy was a colossal idiot. But I legit was like, nah, I'm not going to pile on Gaddis for this one. So that one, last year's FSU game, even though it was lopsided, didn't bother me as much. It still was like a kick. Like if you're paralyzed from the waist down, but you end up kicking me right where I'm like, that line of demarcation is, it stings because I can feel it above the waist. But at this point, bro, just keep kicking. Keep kicking.
Line 72. Line 800. No!
All right. So, Big Game Boomer account on Twitter
Troll.
threw out a tweet today.
Why you gotta like tag us?
Well,
in this
because
nonsense?
someone tagged us. I don't know who tagged us, but someone tagged us. And now our
then,
guest
like,
is here, so we got to let him in.
Non-stop, like ding, ding, ding. Like
Yeah,
I don't care about any of this stuff.
As you can see, everybody, we have
Randy
our
Shannon, right?
we
Look,
have
look,
our
yeah.
guest.
Good shirt.
BTB's in the house.
Yo,
What's up, guys?
How are you, man?
I'm good. Happy that football season is, right around the corner. Hopefully, we can make a bowl game this year.
Well, we're projected.
We're projected
We're
to go.
projected to make the Pop-Tart Bowl.
sweet. What's your favorite Pop-Tart? What's your favorite Pop-Tart?
I haven't eaten a Pop-Tart in probably 15 years.
Yeah, but it's
20 years.
okay.
Okay, so what's better? Hold on. So what's better? This is the real question. What's better, Pop Tarts or toaster
Not
strudels?
even close.
Honestly, it's probably better than the Cheez-Its bowl. The Cheez-Its, Pop-Tarts,
You
I'll
didn't
take
fucking answer me.
Pop-Tarts.
Well, the cheese it is now the Pop-Tart Bowl.
Pop-Tarts
The same
are better.
Camping World Stadium.
Yes.
Oh,
And toaster strudel?
Yes.
Oh yes.
so FSU's been bragging. FSU's been bragging about being the Pop-Tart champions, huh?
Yeah.
It is like eating a box. It's like cardboard.
Wait
with
a second.
It's
some, like,
phenomenal. Why, how can you have this Pop-Tart slander? What the fuck?
Eating a
bro?
box?
Because
Like you and your
toaster
toaster
strudels are
strudels.
so much
No,
better.
bro. No one gives a shit about toaster strudels.
Well, I
They're
do,
not
and I'm the
iconic.
most
No
important
one
person on
talks
this
about
podcast.
I just
them.
want to go back to him saying it's like eating a box.
I don't think I've ever eaten a toaster strudel in my life, to be honest.
Yeah.
You gotta,
I mean-
you gotta put the
Come on
icing on
now.
it though, right? You have to.
Yeah, you warm it, you toast it, you put, dude. It's like a
Dude, that is
it's
so
like a
foo-foo.
half Danish, half pop. Dude, it's so
It
It
is
is a
foo-foo.
foo-foo
I mean,
breakfast.
listen to
That
it.
is. I
Listen
can
to
see
it.
you putting the frosting on with your pinky extended.
Yeah,
like,
oh,
Let me
absolutely.
get a little bit of frosting on there.
Listen to the name of it. It's a toaster
I
strudel.
painted on. I painted on.
A
Toaster strudel.
strudel.
Yes, yes.
Strudel. Like what kind
Sorry.
of word is that? Like you own a toy poodle. If
You know-
You don't know what a
toaster
strudel?
You know what I did used to go for big in high school, like in the mornings, those honey buns out of the vending machine,
Oh hell
Oh,
yeah!
all day.
like
Yeah.
2,000
The,
calories
the,
a piece.
All day.
There you go.
What,
yeah.
what about the Danish, the ones you get at the gas station in the plastic wrapper?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
The cheese Danish
How about the
thing?
Spunkmeyer muffins?
Oh yeah.
The
oh, yeah.
Spunkmeyer. The
Those
cookies.
things that weighed like 2 pounds and they would sit in your intestine for 3 weeks.
Yeah, exactly.
I've just gained 4.5 pounds.
Just talking about this stuff.
Just talking about this.
Okay.
All right, what were we talking about before we brought
We,
BTB on?
the Big Game Boomer account.
Oh, right. So this, whatever. So they put out Pick Miami's record, and they, for some reason, someone tagged us in it. So all fucking day just replies, because not on Threads, but on Twitter, people picking the records. And man, it was everywhere from 4 and 8 to 10 and 12 and 0.
Was that Danny Boy Kane? 12 and 0?
Of course it was. Of course it was.
Yes, I mean, he's like, come on, like, I heard you guys talking last week about scenarios like, what if we lose to Miami of Ohio? Like, if we lose to Miami of Ohio, just blow the program up. Like, this it.
Right.
That's it.
No,
There's
it
nothing
no.
after that. There's nothing after that. If you lose to Miami of Ohio, just blow the give them our mascot and name. They can be the Hurricanes now. That's it.
What
All
is
right,
there?
listen,
What is that? I don't even know
Let's
what they
not
are.
overreact to this nonsense.
It's not overreacting. It's not.
It's not
if you
overreacting,
lose-
Scoop.
If you lose to Miami of Ohio, you're like you're at least 20 years from
would
being
you
good.
rather. It's not just a one case scenario. If you lose to Miami, Ohio, it was a would you rather question.
So BTB, so
And
but
the
what I'm
would you
telling
rather
you,
question.
but
It's
if
a
you
legitimate
fine,
question.
whatever, if you lose to Miami of Ohio, you get to beat Clemson and friggin' FSU.
Yeah.
Great. But if you lose to Miami of Ohio, bro, no one's at the Clemson game.
Does it matter? Does it matter?
If no one's there and you beat Clemson, does it really happen?
Well,
Yeah, I mean,
Well,
it's
speaking
not
of
like
that-
really the whole thing's gonna be full anyway.
speaking of the Big Game Boomer account, that he trolled again today. He's like, they should just play an FIU stadium. It has like 25,000. It would be perfect. This guy's just he trolls
Hey.
Miami fans.
It's not like
Trolls.
Oklahoma's going nowhere fast too. So I mean, he'll be back down to reality in a couple years. So that a lot of his posts are like just stupid. Like he just does it for interaction and stuff. I mean, I don't really.
And he
think,
gets them.
You know, he does because he gets people riled up and stuff. But I mean,
Exactly.
Like us, apparently.
Yeah.
Well, it's not hard to get Miami fans riled up. Anything is a slight. Anything.
Yeah. So he predicted us all over the map. Are we going with what we're thinking, or what are we
Well,
doing?
BTB, the number Vegas put out is 7.5, right? The wins total,
I think so. Yeah.
something like that. Yeah.
I mean,
I
Paul.
mean, it seems like a pretty solid number. I mean, I'm almost tending to go under.
Listen, I mean,
If that's truly 7.5,
Oh, I don't know.
that's actually favorable. I know a lot of Miami fans might not want to hear that, but the realistic one, 7.5. Okay, you're setting a 7.5. Means if you win 8 games, you're over, and it's not 4.5, right? And I think FSU like a year or two ago was like they set their win total like 4.5. So we'll see.
you know what? When I look at like team win totals for the year, I always just count the guaranteed wins first, right? So like Miami of Ohio,
There he goes.
I mean, Bethune-Cookman,
Bethune. Yep.
Georgia Tech.
Virginia.
We should beat Virginia. Yeah, I mean,
BC.
at BC though, I mean, you never know. Louisville.
Red Bandana
Well, so-
game day after Thanksgiving.
Well, so here's the issue, guys. So the PFF came out with the ACC power
Temple.
rankings.
Temple.
We're number 9.
Number 9.
We're number 9. The only teams that are worse than us are Syracuse, Va Tech, Virginia, Georgia Tech, and BC. We're only playing 3 of them.
Look, there's no reason for anyone to be optimistic. Let's be real, right? We can be optimistic. We can drink the Kool-Aid. But the national perception of where they were at 5 and 7, how much better are they, right? You're not going to say, oh, they're 4 games better, right? Because Tyler's going to be healthy. He's got Shannon Dawson in and tuned through for 4,040 tutties. Like, you're not automatically just going to say that they're going to win 9 games, or the national consensus isn't. So yeah, I mean, I see us. Why would they? Look, I will say this: they tried. They tried to give us the benefit of the doubt for years, and we've done nothing but underperform. That now they're just covering their asses.
Yeah, they have.
We had a
especially-
little. Yeah, we had a little hype last year with the Mario buzz. We all had it, just like when every new coaching regime, and especially with his success that he had the year prior going into the horseshoe, beating Ohio State, just, miscalculated with one. And we said this all along when the names all along were Lane Kiffin and Mario Cristobal. Who do you want? And hindsight's 2020. I'm still thinking we made the right hire. I wasn't necessarily a Lane Kiffin fan, but I always said Lane Kiffin, I think our offense is always going to be great under Lane Kiffin. I just don't know if he's going to stay out of Tootsie's. I don't know if Lane Kiffin's going to be able to escape the Miami limelight and come out unscathed. I mean, you're going to go into Tootsie's and he's going to be like the guy this 40 feet up on those 40-foot poles
gonna
in
be
there.
running
Not that
the
I know
lights.
exactly what's in there. But then with Mario, I was like, it's always going to come down to his hires. It's going to come down to his offensive coordinator hire every single year. And that's the disadvantage. It's an advantage because he's a great recruiter, but the disadvantage of being an offensive line coach, it's not like he's an OC. It's not like he's this brilliant-minded X's and O guy. He's not Lincoln Riley. And BTB said it. Like, listen, Oklahoma's taking a step back because they had a Lincoln Riley who now went out to USC because of some staffer thing he was doing, boink, boink. But anyway, and then you turn around and get a defensive guy, and they take a step back. So we'll see if he regains. I still think good week this week, picked up a good recruit for the University of Miami. And I know it's early, but still getting a defensive end coming in from, Ohio State country. I know came down. Oh, did you see them melt down? We took a recruit from them. Oh my goodness. Message board geniuses. You got to love it.
That's why I can't. I gave up on message boards the grassy Canes time message boards. I mean, I gave up on those years ago. You just can't
You can't get involved in that. Nothing's rational.
Nothing at all.
Well, so this episode is chapter 77. For those of you that aren't aware, we reset the counter when we hired Mario. So basically, we are roughly 77 weeks into the Mario era. And this is the conversations that we're having.
Not what we thought.
No one thought this. No one, dude, when he's on the airplane, no one was forecasting this. Nobody, not even him. This is like a bad acid trip.
Yeah, it was. I mean, last year was like a disappointing year. I mean, last year you didn't.
Disappointing?
You didn't really know what to expect last year. I mean, to be honest, in my eyes, I told you guys like last year that I thought like Mario Cristobal like wasn't like he didn't really. I liked how he was like a hurricane, but like he didn't really do it for me like offensively. Like I saw him at Oregon just blow too many games by playing conservative. With Justin Herbert as his quarterback, he's playing conservative, having Justin Herbert run, quarterback draws, right? Then he should have just been throwing it down the field, right? Kind of saw the same stuff like last year with our offense, even though it was, a Michigan guy running it. But I mean, you got TVD back there with a huge arm. Let the guy wing it, right? Run some hurry up offense, and let the guy wing it. And I thought last year, like our running backs were so tiny. I thought, like our offensive line couldn't really do much. And TVD like was basically running for his life, and it's just ridiculous how all the fans like they turn on TVD so quick and they want the next. The backup quarterback is always everybody's favorite player, right? The most popular player on the team because everybody wants the backup to come in and stuff. And I just feel like last year we just had so many injuries, and it was just like it was just one domino, to the next. And I mean, the year was just a total disaster. But, if we, a thing has got to get turned around, like they have to get turned around this year, or like when are they ever going to get turned around, right? So, hopefully we see some improvement. I mean, I want to see at least, if we don't win at least 8 games this year, I think it's a failure, right? So I think we got to win at least 8 games this year, or like, just forget it.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I was going to ask you. Like, what's a win total in your mind that makes it, look, I mean, the word success is different for everyone, but makes it a success, not an unsuccessful season. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
And I think 8's a pretty good number for everybody, which would be, half over the total, right? I mean,
yeah, I wouldn't be like, if we won 8 games, I'm not going to be happy. I'm going to be like, all right, well, it's improvement, right? But they need to at least beat Texas A&M's ass, right? Like, we gave the game away last year to Texas A&M, right? And Jimbo Fisher is like, I think Jimbo Fisher is like probably one of the most overrated coaches in the country, right? He lost so many players to the transfer portal. He lost so many guys. They're just in shambles. We need to beat Texas A&M at least. So, and then we can't lose. I mean, we need to at least start like 4-0, 5-0.
That's what I was going to say.
We can't lose to Miami of Ohio. If you're losing to Miami of Ohio, you're losing 9 games. So you have to beat them. Texas A&M you beat. Bethune-Cookman, whatever, obviously. Temple, like, this is where, like, we should never be playing at Temple, like, ever. Like, never travel.
I think this was a game we agreed to for stealing their head coach.
Yeah, which is the dumbest thing in the first place. The guy, the athletic director who made that deal. I mean, like, come on, the guy.
We've hired 2 Temple head coaches.
I know. And Georgia Tech got the other one, and look where he is now. He got fired too. So I think that we have to at least start 5-0, right? And if we're 5-0 going to UNC, then you got UNC, Clemson, right? Say you lose those 2, but then you have Virginia. We should beat Virginia. NC State, we always play pretty well, and then Florida State, who everybody seems to think like Florida State's going to win the national championship. I mean, I just don't see it. But it's a lot of talk for. They think the Florida State quarterback's like contending for a Heisman this year. I don't see it, but they have high expectations this year, so I would love to just smoke them. But they need to start out 5-0 and then go from there, right? Because the first 5 games, they should be favored in every single one of those games. So I think they got to start 5-0, then go from there. Because if you lose 4-1, 3-2, then it's not it's not looking good. I mean, how are the fans going to feel if we start out 3-2 and our 3 wins are Miami, Ohio, Bethune, and Temple, right? Like it's it's not going to set up well for the rest of the year. So
I believe the biggest game on the schedule next year is Texas A&M, because I believe, and listen, we saw that the narrative, we heard rumors from multiple people, the coaching staff thought that they were going to have a top 5 recruiting class by the time July 4th weekend rolled around. Not the case. I'll be honest, if this team's going to get a top 10 class or a top 15 class, I don't think there's any way around. You have to start at least 4-0, basically 5-0, because then your first ACC game is Georgia Tech. You can't lose that.
Yeah.
But so as a result, I think Texas A&M is the most important game on the schedule. Like, you have to come out, and that's the one game early that can give this team some confidence. And we all know that in football, if you can get a little bit of confidence, then maybe they can win if they're 5-0, maybe they get one win against the pair of UNC and Clemson. You know, because they have a bunch of confidence going in, they're playing well. So you cannot come out and step on your dick again this year like you did last year. I mean, half the fan base will leave his ass.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, they have a bad year this year, bro. We start talking about his job security.
Yeah, it sneaks in there.
And they need to have a big win this year. They need to have a big win. And I think A&M would qualify to the fan base.
The one thing that I'm hopeful for, though, 8 wins seems logical to me. 9 wins would be a good year, right? You go 9-3, or even if you're 8 and you win the bowl game, win a bowl game too. If we play in the Pop-Tarts, just win bowl games. That's rarefied air just in itself down here. But in order for us to have change, the one thing that I am hopeful for, there was a verbiage change. There was a verbiage shift, because we knew Mario was going to we got to establish to run. We got to be physical, brother. Just in itself. And that's a red flag for me too, because I'm like, we've heard it before. Yes, you want to be physical. You're an offensive line coach, but with Shannon now, I hear him say we have to be more explosive, right? And that's where it starts for me. It starts if Miami's going to have a run, if Miami's going to be 5-0, they're going to have to do it off the backs. And BTB said it with TVD. BTB said TVD. Like, it has to be through the air superiority. These guys need to go ahead and put up points. The high octane style of offense is going to bring butts to the seats, right? Because even as Miami fans, we're showy, we're ostentatious, right? We want to be in your face. We want to have bravado. Winning 17-10 with 300 yards rushing, that Mario's going to applaud that. Pocket Mario is going to applaud that, but we're going to be like, boring, So it's a dual-edged sword here, right? But I think, at least I'm hopeful, because I've heard Mario say, which he didn't say before. He's starting to say, yeah, and Shannon's like, we need to get some explosive plays. We're going to have to manufacture some things downfield, because it helps, right? And the analytics prove it. Like, if you get one play over 40 yards in like a drive, the chances of you scoring are astronomically high. So, and we couldn't do anything over like 10 yards last year. So at least I'm hopeful there. At least his verbiage is starting to change. So if we're going to change the culture and we're going to do better, it's going to start with the verbiage. And at least Mario took care of some of that when he got Shannon Dawson.
Yeah, and if we don't give up like 800 yards offense to North Carolina, and get burnt for like 5 80-yard touchdowns through the air, that'll be the first sign of improvement too. Because I don't want to see our DBs lose by like 20 yards in foot races this year, right? So, but I will say, one thing about the program, I will say at least we're not the Gators, because the Gators, they're even worse than us right now. They're bad. They're gonna be bad this year, like 3 wins. And have you seen their schedule for next year? It's like the hardest schedule I've ever seen in my entire life. And they might win 2 games next year. So I will say at least we're not the Gators, right? So, just improvement, right? No more quitting in games, right? No more losing to MAC schools, conference USA teams, stuff like that, right? You need to beat Texas A&M so you can be like, hey, okay, we beat an SEC team, right? Even though it's like a fake SEC team.
Who cares?
Exactly, but we need to beat them so we
I'll
can
take
say
Vanderbilt right now, bro.
It's true. It's true. How long you think Bayou Billy lasts up there in Gainesville?
They can't.
He gets through the next 2 seasons.
2 wins. If you say 2 wins, 3 wins, he won't make it past next year.
From what I hear, they can't really afford. I mean, they don't really have the money right now. They can't afford to get players. I told Scoop this months ago, like with that whole quarterback situation they had. You know, my friend Darren's like one of the biggest skater like NIL guys. They basically like shunned him. Like they think he's like he's like public.
He's like against them.
He's like public enemy number one.
Great.
So he was
That's
like, you know what?
fantastic.
He's like, fuck this. I'm not doing anything anymore. I'm not doing anything anymore to help. So, you know, like they don't. The money is gone. You know, like the people who like I give the Canes credit, like because you know John Ruiz like opened his pocketbook, right, and you know he's spent money, right, and we see it happening in basketball. We go to the Final Four. Girls team goes to the whatever it was, Elite Eight or whatever.
Elite Eight.
So like we see like results happening right away because he's spending money. You know, we see him getting players in football. But the Gators, what happened with them is they had people say they would spend money, and then these players got there and they were like, hey, we don't have the money anymore. So like, you know, at least we're spending the money. So like I think, you know, as long as John Ruiz keeps spending money, it's gonna be like, you know, we should get good players. Obviously, it's easier to do that in basketball because you only need 5 guys, right? And you could really go to the Final Four with 2 dominant guys on your team, right? So in football, it's a lot harder. But, I mean, I don't care how we do it. I don't care if we have to pay guys. Like, come. Like, just open up the wallets and just come to Miami, right? Like, I don't really care. I'll even go back to the Nevin Shapiro, like, paying guys to, like, knock guys out of games. I'm down to do that again, right?
Well, back to bounties.
Yeah, like bounties, I'm good with that, right? Like, bring it back, right? So, although we get guys ejected from targeting every game anyway, so it doesn't really matter. So, you know, I just think, like I said, start out 5-0, and then, you know, I think if you start out 5-0, the confidence, the team will have a lot more confidence in themselves too. So I think, you know, start out 5-0, and I think the rest will take care of itself.
Dude, get another photo of a Ponzi schemer handing a big, you know, promo check to Dr. Frank. That'd be hilarious.
Now bring Donna
bowling
back.
alley.
Bring Donna back.
If that's what it takes.
Just to receive the check.
That's what it takes. Yeah. I mean, you know.
Yeah, and you know, BTB brings up a great point too. At least you're not the Gators; they don't have money. I mean, they're investing in a multi-million-dollar like football-centered ops building. That regardless.
They're gonna redo the stadium. $400 million.
Oh, the Gators? No, but I'm just talking for us. I mean, we're gonna have a new stadium. You know,
but you're still in Gainesville. That's the thing.
Yeah.
That's the issue.
You know, I mean.
And these days, you know, because of inflation, I was thinking about this the other day. Like, I know what, you know, $500 million, you know, got us. It got us a roof, and I'm like, what is $400 million in Gainesville again? I know inflation is like, they're gonna put some tarps. They're gonna put some electric charging stations for their trailers. That's cool. That's cool. I mean, like, it's Ben Hill Griffin Stadium. It's a shit box, right? At least when you had Hard Rock Stadium and you put like $500 million in it, there was good guts, right? There was stuff that you could do. What are you doing to this stadium? Like, what possibly could you do? It's like,
hey, you know what they're not getting for $400 million?
Miami.
They're not going to get a Super Bowl or a national championship game.
No. Or an F1.
Yeah, or F1 or anything.
Yeah.
Or tennis.
We should start letting kids ride in the F1 cars around the track. Like, you know. Fuck it.
That's a good recruiting.
Recruiting trips.
Yeah.
Let the Alabama kids come here and, like, you know, Alabama kids like to drive fast in their cars. I mean, let them go around the track at least.
Dude, all right, so are you staying for the whole show? Are you doing everything with us?
How long is the show?
Good
Whatever.
point.
Just sit there and answer questions. All right, let's go.
Like another half hour?
Yeah. I'm good.
All right, then we should go ahead and talk about our partners.
Let's do that.
One, he is one. So
yeah,
we'll start off. I saw the video of I know where Teddy Morse was for 4th of July.
Mm-hmm.
He was in Grand Junction, Colorado, at I guess leading the parade with his Harley Davidson dealership.
Yeah. Well, Teddy is on his annual solo trip. So if you're honestly, it's wildly cool. So if you follow him on IG, it's where he does up. But he gets on his Harley and he travels by himself for 2 to 3 weeks. And it's a pretty cool like story to watch, and the places that he goes and what he does alone. Like it's pretty neat. But he can do that because he's running the country now, like pretty much, right? With all his dealerships and now the Harleys and hold on. Let's see.
Boy.
Okay, he'll be back. He'll be back.
Yeah.
He'll be back. Depends on how quickly he'll be back. Depends on life or death. But
yeah,
we'll continue. There he goes. No, Bobby's face is bigger.
What was that? What was that?
He had to shut it all off, the son of a bitch.
What was that?
I don't know why he does. He got a call. He's on shit.
Yeah, someone got in an accident.
Yeah. So where are we at? Ed Morse Auto?
Yes.
Yeah.
Ed Morse.
I will say he
Ed
does
Morse
look very rugged in the commercials.
Yes.
He does, right?
My sister is actually like good friends with his niece, so the commercials he looks very rugged, and it's like he almost makes himself look like the Marlboro Man in the commercials, you know?
Yeah, oh yeah,
He really does.
He's got his Ray-Bans, he's got his aviators, and he's doing well. The company's doing well. Very happy for him and thankful for him and everybody over at Ed Morse. EdMorse.com gets you the price protection promise. And go get yourself some Harleys, some new Harleys, man, up in Daytona, Grand Junction.
There you go.
All that good stuff, right? Okay.
So, Manscaped, I don't know about you, BTB, but it gets hot down here. You taking care of grooming your boys?
Yeah, it's a fucking 120 degrees outside these days. I mean, it's shit.
You imagine dude, think about how humid it is just walking outside, and then imagine like times 10 in your crotch region.
Yeah, I don't want that swamp. I don't want swamp ass, so.
It's the worst.
You just gotta manscape it.
Yeah, we wouldn't know.
We
wouldn't know because we use the lawnmower and the tree trimmers and the weed whackers and everything else they got.
The preserver, the reviver.
The preserver and the reviver.
Yeah.
Keep your boys happy. And if your boys are happy, then your women are happy because your women like happy boys. Manscaped.com, right? OBB 20% off. Promo code. There you go.
There you go.
Clean your. If you don't clean yourself, I don't even know what millennium you're in. Like
I smell those guys at the gym all the time, man. I'm like,
God help me.
I'm like, do you even take a shower, bro, before you came here? I mean, shit, I don't.
Yeah, like
every day.
I mean, I wake up and take a shower immediately, right? Like I don't leave the house without taking a shower in the morning, and I take a shower right before I go to bed. So people are like, wait a minute, you take a shower before you go to bed, and then you take a shower right when you wake up? I'm like, you don't? Like, why wouldn't you do that?
Nah, I don't take one. I don't take one before the gym. Nah.
I take one before the gym. Of course I do.
Before bed, I take one. No, never before the gym.
No.
Always before.
Never before the gym.
Always.
All right.
Sorry.
Our last phenomenal sponsor is this guy named Beatin the Bookie. And I saw you threw out some nice free picks for the golf this weekend.
Yeah, I did.
Did you? Of them, I missed him. What we get?
Just a couple of guys.
He doesn't remember. He
Five
even remember.
guys.
Top 20.
Denny McCarthy.
Yeah,
McCarthy T20.
Adam Hadwin, a bunch of T20s. Okay. Denny McCarthy. It's a guy. I love Denny McCarthy. It's like the perfect NASCAR name. If he was a NASCAR driver.
Right.
But
he would be.
Denny McCarthy top 20, Adam Hadwin top 20, Eric Cole top 20.
Okay.
Couple other guys. I don't know. They're on. It's up on that site.
I got Novak top 20.
Do you have any? Are you putting out any futures bets?
When I gave out Novak a few times, and I told you he burned me on like the last 4 holes. Couple.
Did he?
He comes out hot. Like when he plays well, he comes out hot.
Yeah.
But a couple times, like he burned.
He finished strong today.
I'm not complaining. I wouldn't do any better myself, to be honest. But I mean, so yeah. I mean, there's hundreds of matchups to bet every week. So
crazy.
But hey, he is getting up. I mean, I did give him out I did a golf show a couple months ago. I gave him out to be the first round leader, and the guy's like, "That's a name I didn't expect." All right.
Yeah.
So, BTB, how do folks get in touch with you and start getting your packages?
They're all on my website, beatinthebookie.com. The link is on my Twitter, on your guys' site too, probably. We're just chilling right now, right? We have golf going on right now. We have soccer, baseball. Somehow this is another thing. If the Marlins can't get better before the Hurricanes football team gets better, like it's just out of control, right? The Marlins are even better now. So the Hurricanes need to get their shit straight on the football field because the Marlins are somehow winning every night now. 51 wins now. It's like third best record in the league with a team of like no names. So, we got baseball, we got golf, we got the British Open coming up in 2 weeks. We've just done well in majors this year. So, it was nice for the PGA Championship. We had Koepka 22-1, and then I got to celebrate with him in the trophy the next night. So
That was awesome.
it was pretty fucking cool, to be honest. You know?
And bro, was it game 2 in Vegas? You were front and center on the national broadcast for about 4 seconds. They showed you like, with your Panthers jersey on.
Yeah, until I had some of the my old Orange Bowl tendencies started coming out in that game. Like people were booing me and stuff at the beginning, and we took the lead. It was like 1-0. That was game 1. We took the lead 1-0. This guy behind me wouldn't shut up. He kept calling me like, "Go back to Miami, you piece of shit." I'm like, I turn around and I'm like, who the fuck is this guy talking to? I'm like, the Panthers aren't even playing Miami, right? And I just wanted to punch him in his face so bad. My wife is like, "You can't go to jail in Las Vegas." And I got up and I did that DX shit right in the guy's face like this. And then they scored like the next 3 goals, and I just sat there like this. I didn't even move. But it was, it was a fun time out in Vegas. I mean, look, whenever you go to Vegas, it's fun, right? And their fans were cool. They're not like Gators fans or, Florida State fans or college football fans, right? They're like hockey fans, and they're in Vegas. So most of them are just walking by, and they're like, "Oh, there's a game tonight. Let's go." Everybody has a brand new jersey on at the stadium, right? Like they just bought them. So it's like they don't really have these hardcore like lifelong fans, right? So it was a fun atmosphere. But yeah, hockey. I mean, I can't wait for hockey to be back. I mean, that took over South Florida, and what do we got? Like 60 days until football kicks off. So all I know is I just hoping the Canes don't let me down this year. I always say my favorite team is whoever I bet on that weekend. But like you guys were talking about earlier, I used to be the guy that if the Hurricanes would lose on a Saturday, my fucking next week is fucked because I'm pissed. Once I punched the fucking palm tree because they lost, I broke my fucking hand. So, and I can remember the Tennessee game you were talking about when they come at my legs, I'll come right back at theirs because I'm a fucking soldier, Like when we lost that game, I was like, how the fuck did we lose Tennessee, right? They suck, right? Like I think it was Jimmy Clausen, maybe. I'm like, how the fuck did we lose to them, right? So, I mean, I just want to get back to like, it's like been such a shitty run where it's like I don't like. You lose so many games, you're just like immune to it, right? It's like I'm not gonna let it run me, So. I want to get back to like where a loss like pisses you off, right? So I hope we get back to those days sometime. So,
all right. So before we get into 5 questions, want to talk to you about the big news from the week. We've been waiting forever, and finally a federal appeals court went ahead and struck down that injunction that had prevented the Seminoles from operating their bookmaking. Obviously, we know that they struck a 30-year exclusive compact with the state, and that's what was getting all held up. That's now gone away. Folks are saying that they think the app will be back live within a month or so. What are your feelings? How excited are you? Like, this is pretty cool.
I mean, it's great. I mean, I can bet anyways. Like, it's not a secret. Right. I mean, anybody can bet wherever they want anyways. But obviously, I like to bet like with Hard Rock. I mean, the law getting overturned in the first place was stupid. Like, it just shows you like what money can do when you go through the court system, right? And of course, it was a Hurricane alum who like sued them to stop it, right? That they own like Magic City Casino and stuff. I think it'll be like, people are saying they can appeal and they have 45 days to appeal. So people don't think it'll happen before then. But my thing is like when the guy sued them, they owned Magic City Casino, right? And since then they've sold Magic City Casino to somebody else. So like they don't have that interest in Magic City Casino anymore. So I don't know, like I don't know if they're gonna like if they're gonna still like try as hard as they have been, because they've spent so much money on it already. And the appeals court said like this is dead. Like you can't go anywhere with this, basically, right? And they said 1 out of 500 cases gets to go back to the appeals court. So they have to be 1 of 500. I don't really see it happening. I mean, they could lengthen it if they want, maybe stall some more. But I think the best thing for them to do is just like, listen, drop everything, let the Seminoles open it, and then in a year or two, you can like go negotiate with the Seminoles to open up other companies, right? Obviously, they have to pay the Seminoles, right? But they could have already done that, but they decided to pause it for 2 years and basically ruin everybody's chances at betting. But I think realistically by I would say October, November. I mean, it just depends if they appeal or not. Like if they don't appeal right away, like the Seminoles, they can just turn it back on like this. So they already turned their app back on, and you couldn't go on in Florida up until a week, and now you can go back onto your account. You just can't deposit money. So it's basically just a click of a button, and their app can be live again. And what's great is it won't take as long now because everything is already set up. The infrastructure is already set up, and I can't wait for the Hard Rock to have a sports book and a craps table. So more important.
Yeah, and roulette, hold the full game. And my only issue, BTB, I love the gambling. I hate the exclusivity of it. I was just in Ohio, and I was able to open a Bet365, a DraftKings, and a FanDuel. I did $20 in each of them and got a total of 600 in bonus bets because of promos.
Yeah.
And the Seminoles aren't going to have that incentive to give out promos like that. They'll give out a couple for new accounts, I'm sure, but not the promos that you have rolling up there when you actually have different casinos competing with each other.
Yeah.
And that's the only part for me that kind of sucks.
Of course,
so
but
I hope they can
you have to
maybe open it up.
You have to really walk before you have to really crawl before you can walk. So the Seminoles,
I gotcha.
If nobody would have fucked with the Seminoles a couple of years ago, we would have had multiple companies in the state now doing business. But they decided to go after the Seminoles, and if you go after the Seminoles are going to
they're not giving up.
They're not going to give up. So
No.
now,
So
I
the
don't know what's
Seminoles
gonna
have
happen.
the right to license it out to other companies like DraftKings and FanDuel, so they can open sports books too and pay them a vig, basically.
like 50% or something like that. So I don't, and all these companies will say well, we're not going to do business in Florida because we're not going to pay the Seminoles at 50%. That's crazy. And they'll all do it, right? New York has the same thing. New York has a 50% taxes on sportsbook, right? And they said, who would ever sign up? Who would ever open a sports book in New York? This is what they used to say. Now they have 50 sports books in New York, right? Because they just say that, and then they all just go do it anyways because they're still going to make money. So
50% is still better than nothing.
Yeah, exactly. So I think within 3 years you'll have 10 companies in Florida doing business. So
All right. Should we do 5 questions, boys?
Yeah, but I had something.
Yeah. You got a question?
You brought up something last week that was totally random, which I got to be honest with you. I have watched our clips on YouTube of that 15 minutes multiple times.
Yeah.
And I've never laughed so hard in my entire, and I've never seen the three of us laugh that hard together. I've never seen Toast laugh that hard in my entire life. He was snorting and slobbering on himself and choking. He had to hit the mute button because he was choking. I've watched it over and over and over again. I don't know why, but holy shit. So I have a topic.
Oh God.
That I saw. Now it's not as fragile as a woman losing her leg, but it's wild. Did you see the woman on the American Airlines flight who
she wasn't bad. She wasn't bad, actually. I was
I know she wasn't, who freaked out. So if you guys haven't seen this, there's video of a woman who literally loses her mind before they push back and ultimately is screaming. And she wasn't drunk. She was literally scared to death. Her fight or flight reaction was at the nth degree to where she's screaming that motherfucker in the back of the plane isn't real. Legitimately said this person is not of human nature. And I've done a little research on this. I want to get your take on this. I've done a little research on this, and I've seen a couple videos. And my understanding is she's not the only person who believed that in their interactions with this hoodie dude.
Look, they said she.
I want to see the hoodie dude.
They said she dropped her They said when she was saying that, like another person said that she was talking to like the flight attendant, and that it was all over. She dropped her AirPod under the seat. I mean, so they were like, oh, it's a person that what do they call it? Like when they like a person can like morph into like a
What, changeling?
No, it was that.
She said he was like a lizard guy, right? She said,
dude, some other guy said, bro, he winked at me, and I don't know. It's probably.
He said he winked like this.
He winked, but it winked this way.
Yeah,
and not up and down. It winked this way.
But then she trying to get back
like
on the
that
plane,
was
though.
real. Was that not real? Like her reaction was real, bro.
Well, but nothing happened on the flight, right? Like, so the rest of the flight, everyone's been staring at this guy. He didn't do anything. No one got off the flight like, oh my God, this guy really is a lizard man. Like, so.
Well, nobody else wanted to seem as crazy as she was.
Well, but you're on a flight with him for 2 hours and no one's gonna like be staring at him the whole time. And he's like got his lizard tongue slipping out and stuff like that.
Are you gonna stare at him? Are you gonna look at him and ask him, hey, wink at me, bro? Wink at me. Show me your side eye.
Bro, hold on. You're telling me that you're on an airplane and some crazy ass bitch is losing it. That dude ain't real. And she gets off the plane, they shut the door, and you take off. Every like 5 minutes, you ain't fucking glancing back to see the fucking lizard man?
No,
and see if he's doing nothing?
No, because I want to see how long we can go and see if we can land without this thing blowing up.
I got to know if there's a lizard man on my plane.
She told me there was.
I'm all for conspiracy theories, but I think
bitches be crazy. You know that's a phrase.
I think
bitches be crazy.
I think she was on some gummies.
You know what I'm saying?
I took one of those.
Come on.
You know, when we went to Vegas for March Madness, like I never did a gummy in my life, right? I never smoked weed or anything, right? We went to this dispensary with my friend, and he got gummies, right? I'm like, all right, I don't know anything about them, right? They're like, oh, for the first time, you take a 10 milligram or whatever. I took like a 40 milligram. I didn't even know. And I was saying stuff to my wife that I would say it to her, and then I would be like, in my head, I'd be like, that doesn't make any sense. What I just said to her, like, what the fuck am I talking about? And then I would just be like, just cracking up, right? So, gummy, those things can make you say shit that like you don't even know what you're saying, right? So I definitely could see.
Dude's never had THC in his body. He does 40 milligrams.
I didn't know until like a couple of days later. I read the thing. It was like 40 milligrams. Someone was like, "You're supposed to do like 10 when you do it the first time." I was like,
supposed to do 10.
Yeah, go big or go home.
Yeah,
right.
There you go.
Right. Okay. All right.
All right. Should we go ahead and do 5 questions?
Sure.
Yeah. Speaking of go big or go home,
that's what I'm talking about. I got some good ones here.
So do I.
Oh, do you?
5 questions.
All right. I'll go first.
Go.
Oh boy.
You accidentally left your cocaine at the White House. What do you do now?
That's what I highlighted. That's what I highlighted.
I'd call my dad Joe. I'd call my dad Joe Biden and say I needed some more.
Yes. Call my dad the president and be like, yo, can you take care of that for me?
I love this whole thing. Like, whose is it? Whose is it? Well, we don't know. There's a fucking camera the White House, every inch is on camera, right? Well, we don't know whose it is. We don't know. It was in a cubby hole for a visitor. Yeah, they know whose it was. And did you see the videos of him at the 4th of July party on the?
Oh, he's so tweaked.
He's like,
Hunter, tweaking. Yeah.
He's like,
he's so high. You know what he did though? No, I saw the reports though. I mean, we can make it tongue in cheek and say, he's the one that did cocaine. What I heard, he did a 40 milligram gummy, and it was his first time ever, and that's why he was acting that way. That's what I heard. He was
saying crazy ass shit. Yeah.
Yeah. You know what he was saying too? He was like, "Did you see the lizard lady, man? She was so freaked out, bro." That's so funny. That's one of the questions I highlighted. I don't know. What am I doing? I mean, I think there's no better answer than calling my dad the president because he's going to get me out of it too. But I don't know. What do? You just check yourself into rehab, I guess.
You buy another one because you're not going back for that one.
No, you're not going to pick it up.
Yeah, it's over.
I forgot it was in my pocket. Sorry. Oh my goodness.
Oh God.
All right. Hey,
what you got, Ro?
If a band's name was literal, what would be the worst concert to attend?
Oh,
I'll go first. Although I even think just Alanis Morissette and herself would probably be bad because that's just a bad. But I wouldn't want to go to a concert where there was a bunch of Def Leopards running around. I just doesn't sound like that would be too fun. No.
okay.
Hey, random fact, because Ro is full of random facts.
Yeah.
Did you know that hyenas have sex like 6 to 7 times a day?
Good for them.
They do?
Now you know why they're always laughing.
Because they can't masturbate.
Yeah.
Now you know why they're always. No, but it's true. They do.
Oh, I know that.
All right.
Yeah. All right. So, what band name, if it had a literal name, would you?
I'd go with Anthrax.
Oh,
Because I'm not trying to die. Right?
That's good. That's good.
And the Village People.
Scoop. Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Papa Roach.
Ooh, yeah.
ooh.
I'm going toadies.
A bunch of toads running around.
Bunch of toads. I don't
we
like
just-
frogs.
I just think we took care of all the Egyptian plagues that were sent down, right? Locusts and anthrax and
Or
bugs.
Doodoo Brown.
That's good too. Oh, I like it too. Toast, you got 3, or do you want me to go 3?
I got 3. In what do you miss most about the 90s that is not around anymore?
Common sense. No,
I saw I think Steph posted this earlier today, and it said, think about it. I'd like to drop my kids off in 1985 and see how long they'd make it.
you know,
yep.
in the 90s,
Yeah,
something
no
like
shit.
something in the 90s. It just we had it made with certain cartoons. Like, I'm just thinking about the original, like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, some Transformer action, some I'll stay there. Just the cartoons.
BTB, what you got?
The Hurricanes being relevant on national
I was gonna say
scene.
big hurricane winds, motherfucker.
The Orange Bowl. You know, I mean, shit.
Yeah, the Orange Bowl. There you go.
Kids these days don't even know. Like, kids these days don't even have any clue about the Orange Bowl. I think it's fucking crazy. You know, I'm like, they have no idea. You know, it's wild. But
Yeah, we keep it. We keep their memory alive. We keep its memory.
One of
alive.
my best acid experiences. Shit, I forgot what year it was, but it was there was a doubleheader. The Dolphins had a wildcard playoff game in the afternoon, and then the Orange Bowl was being played that night with Florida and Syracuse. And we dropped acid for the Dolphins game, and then we went to the Orange Bowl after, still tripping our balls off. We were at the very top in the corner because that was kind of the empty area. And bro, just looking at the blimp and just, yeah, that was good times. Good times in the 90s.
Right. Oh, the 90s. Miss Elizabeth.
Oh, the wrestling. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
That's
brother. Good Miss Elizabeth, brother.
That's good.
I saw a clip the other day with him, Randy Macho Man, and it was like totally impromptu. And he looks at Mean Gene Okerlund, because Mean Gene, he's in the middle of like, hey, so I got Randy, and he goes, your mustache is crooked.
I've seen that,
just
dude.
randomly just points
It's
at him.
just so random.
And
He
then
was-
Mean
he was
Gene,
such a good
without
bit.
breaking ranks or character, he just looks like he's got, well, your beard is weird. He's like, okay, brother. Oh, 90s wrestling was the
Wrestling was
best.
so
Although the
good.
Goldberg, they said today was like the anniversary of Goldberg beating Hulk Hogan for the belt, but like that Goldberg era was cool too. That was
cool.
So I
Spear.
watch a lot of that on TikTok. A lot of the stuff that comes across my TikTok is old wrestling stuff. I've told you this before, and they do a ton of behind the scenes interviews, and it's amazing the footage that they have back then of all behind the scenes and all this stuff. And it is really wild stuff. And it's consensus basically that Goldberg was the worst wrestler in the business. Like, he was just absolutely terrible at wrestling, hurt a lot of people, had no idea what the fuck he was doing. Like, it was like a mess. And he ended I think he ended Bret Hart's career. Was it Bret Hart's career he ended?
I thought
He had like 2 careers, literally ended like Hall of Famer careers. Because
didn't Bret Hart like fall off the?
No, that was his
Like
brother
the rest
Owen
of
Hart.
Owen Hart, his brother Owen Hart.
Yeah.
But
All
you
right.
should watch
Who's-
like that behind the scenes stuff of all of those old wrestling things.
Oh, it's fantastic. It's fantastic.
And they could say whatever they wanted. Like that, they say some
my
funny
God.
shit back then.
They just, there was a whole thing about how so Triple H, who now runs everything, but back then when it was him
Generation
and
X.
the
You saw
Generation
the
X and all that stuff.
Pakistani one, the accent he did.
I don't
He like
remember
went
that.
around to like Triple H. Like when I just saw it yesterday, he went around to like all these like halal like vendors in like New York City. He's like, "Hello, I am Triple H," like in a Pakistani accent. Like and today, like they would cancel him for that shit. You know?
100%.
Yeah,
So
big time.
So USA was like this close to pulling the plug on them because they got out of control with like Generation X and all that stuff, and they were saying like all this stuff, and they were like, "Yeah, you're not going to do anything." And then all of a sudden something happened, and it was like this big thing, and they said, "Fuck it, we're going to do it anyway." And that's when like the ratings changed, wrestling changed, everything just flipped over in their favor, and USA was like, "That was a great idea."
So what they actually did was they threatened them. You can't say this. You can't say this. You can't say like you can't say crotch. You can't say dick. You can't. So they're
yeah.
So they did a spoof on what USA told them not to say.
That's
well,
what it was.
apparently
That's what it was.
USA said we can't say member, so we can't say member anymore. And then the ratings went through the roof, and USA immediately recanted and was like, "Yeah, you guys are amazing." And Vince, being the business guy that he was, he's like, just make sure it's funny. That's all he told him. He didn't tell him no. He said, just make sure it's funny. That was fine. And then I just saw The Rock making fun of Triple H. That was funny. I'm talking about the game. Yeah. Because you're the reason I'm here. Yeah. And I sound constipated. Yeah. I still think Rock is the best. All right. Next question. Let's go.
Is this number 5?
I think so. What cover of a song is better than the original?
Oh, this is easy for me.
Yeah, I think so too. I
Easy.
got one. Easy. All right, Beatin the Bookie. You're the guest. Let's go. You go first.
Toto Africa. I mean the Weezer Africa.
Oh,
Better than Toto.
It's the
True
same
story.
song.
It's the exact same.
True story. True story.
I like it.
I was learning to play that on the piano yesterday.
Nice.
Just because I was just home and I was like, let me learn how to play this. And
It's one of my favorite songs of all time.
so, but
Yeah.
Scoop's musically inclined toast. Scoop, did you know that song Africa changes keys constantly?
Constantly. Yes.
It changes from the verse to the chorus, back to the verse, back to the chorus, back to the verse, back to the chorus. Had no idea that it did that. And I got an ear and I can hear that shit clear as day. Had no idea when it gets to the chorus, he's in a different key. I just thought it was just the same.
I don't. It's literally the same song. I can't believe that they recorded it and said, you know what, we should. Yeah, that sounds sure. Let's drop this.
That's what a cover is.
I think
No, it's so bad, dude.
I think honorable mention for me is Bad Wolves covering the Cranberry song. But
Zombie?
Zombie. But for me, it's not even close because most people don't even realize that this song is actually a cover. But All Along the Watchtower by Jimi Hendrix is the greatest cover song.
Cover.
It's a cover. Nobody, and many people don't realize it's an actual cover of a Bob Dylan song.
All right.
I like
you got,
non-point.
Scoop?
Non-point in the air tonight's pretty good too.
That's a good one.
Yeah,
That is a good
we
one.
played.
Boys.
Scoop
That's
and
a
I
good
have
one.
played with non-point several times.
Yeah.
We've opened for him several times.
I'm going Alien Ant Farm, Smooth Criminal.
Thank you. That's a good one too.
A good one.
It's a
Good
damn
one.
good one too.
I would say
he got in a bad accident.
It's better than the first one.
Yeah, he got in a bad accident.
I mean, to say something was better than Michael Jackson is something, but dude, that fucking song slaps.
The
one.
fact that their bass player could hit those high notes, because if you looked at him, he
Right.
looked like he's like Eskimo Joe. He looked like this is big dude. He's like, hey, like, hey! I'm like, how the hell is he doing that?
Well, let me ask you this.
So spot on.
How would you feel if you're a band and you do your whole career and your only hit you ever had was a cover?
Just means you sucked. I mean, to be honest,
It's better than not having a hit.
Right?
that's true.
Because I'm pretty sure that Alien Ant Farm could still tour off that song if they wanted to.
Yeah. Scooby?
I'm gonna do "Sounds of Silence" by Disturbed.
I knew you were going to say that. Like I knew.
The video makes it better. You have to watch it both, and then you have that. Like the song is great by itself.
Oh, damn
but,
good, man.
But the video imagery is probably one of the best videos I've seen in a very, because I know we're not in the video era like we used to be. And MTV does not play music videos, but I'm telling you, that's got to be the coolest, best video that I've seen within the last 10 years. Not even close. Not even close.
I still remember
him cover that with Miles
Kennedy.
The two of them singing harmony on that. Bro.
So I remember when that song dropped and I was at the Shark. And it was just like a funny kind of a one-off. And I started telling the people, like, bro, we got to pay. This needs to be in the rotation. You guys need to fucking play this fucking song. And I called you, Scoop. And I said, dude, did you hear this song? He's like, bro, I nailed it today. I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, I sung it in the shower this morning and I fucking nailed it just as good as he did.
Of course.
I got one more good one.
I can do it right now, probably.
I'm sure you could. What you got, BTV?
Five Finger Death Punch.
Yeah.
They got House of the Rising Sun.
Yeah.
Really?
They've done a couple like old songs. Five Finger Death Punch has done a couple covers.
Yeah.
I think they do. Yeah. Yeah, that is a good one too. House of the Rising Sun. But they have a couple. They have another one too. I'm going to look it up while we do this. But
that was the last question.
No,
right, I'm just.
It was 4.
That was 5.
That was 4.
That was 4?
Okay. Yeah. All right.
Oh, we got one more? All right.
I have one more if you need one.
I got one more.
All right, you go, Toasty.
Bonus.
In 24 hours, you'll be teleported to the 1600s. What will you do to prepare for this trip?
The 1600s.
Not shower.
Okay.
Gotta get the funk.
I always, for me, like one equalizer, you can take over the entire world. I just need a machine gun, unlimited ammo, because these idiots are gonna be just like putting their rifles, like putting like lead in their rifles, and I just have a machine gun just like laying them all out. Right? You would take over the entire world. I would take a machine gun.
It's like the Army of Darkness. You ever see the Army of Darkness?
No.
When he transports back and he transfers back with his 12-gauge shotgun. So this is my boomstick, bitches, and he just starts blowing them away. Yeah, I was gonna say I'd learn how to sword fight.
Well, I mean, it'd be helpful.
Right?
I got a gun.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I didn't even think about taking a gun with me. Yeah.
Yeah. Ro?
Along the lines of Toasty, I was thinking about like some really badass chain mail because I'm going to need it. I was thinking more on the defensive side of the ball, not the other offensive side of the ball. But yeah, Five Finger Death Punch also covers The Offspring's "Gone Away," and that's actually a pretty cool song.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted to look up. But yeah, some chainmail. But I think BTB is going to win this one, man, because if you can bring back like a lot of ammunition and a machine gun, like you like. Who is the toughest warrior here? And bring out some dude, and you're like, all right, ready? Here you go. Bah, 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 bah. I was like, who wants it next?
Well, let me ask you this. This is an interesting question. Do you show up with the massive weapon, like an automatic machine gun like BTB is, and you just annihilate everyone by force?
All the men.
Or do you show up with a pillow sack full of fucking antibiotics and just mysteriously cure people? And then they're like, you're a god.
Yeah. Well, what antibiotic are we coming with here? Yeah.
Well, like they all got syphilis, right? Like just penicillin. Just bring a whole shitload of penicillin. You cure everybody.
Hey, it's free at Publix.
What kind of sorcery is this?
Yeah.
What kind of sorcery? They're going to try to burn me at the stake if I try to give them these pills.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
My dick stopped burning.
Who's the president in the future, future boy? Ronald Reagan. The actor?
God.
The actor? Who's his vice president? Jerry Lewis?
Donald Trump.
Exactly. Marty McFly. Who's the president in 2020?
Oh,
2016.
Right. Let's wrap this bitch up and get the hell on out of here. BTB, listen, bro, thank you so much. Not only for being a sponsor for a number of years now, but for coming on and hanging with us. We thoroughly appreciate it. Thank you, bro.
No problem. I got the Dennis Erickson.
Yeah, that's. I had that hat too. That was
Hall of Famer.
The glory.
All right, so we got to name it. I mean, unless BTB has another thing, just one.
What are we going with?
Tastes like a box.
Jesus Christ.
Just
rolls off the tongue, huh?
Just rolls off the tongue. Tastes like a box.
Yeah, I mean, I can't wait for the season. You know, I can't wait for Danny Boy's prediction every game.
12-0.
You know, I just
he might. What happens if he's going to say 11-1? 11-1. I wonder.
You know what? You know what? He's wrong about he's wrong about everything. And then he hates the Panthers, right? Because he's a Lightning fan. He said, I thought the Panthers would beat Vegas. I also thought they would have been healthy in the final. But he's like, no, Vegas will win in 5 games. I was like, dude, are you a fucking moron? I was like, we're not losing in 5 games. And that's the one fucking thing he was right on. Was the Panthers losing in 5.
God, he hasn't gotten this much pub on this show in freaking years.
I'm surprised he's not a Memphis Grizzlies fan.
All right.
Since the bear attack.
Christ.
No, I'm not bringing that up. I was
no, of course not. No, yeah. No.
We love Danny.
All
we
right.
know we do.
As always, go Canes!
Yo! Bang.
That's another episode in the books. The Orange Bowl Boys are brought to you by Ed Morse Automotive Group. Visit edmorse.com.